Most people moving to Lisbon in 2026 are about to get a brutal surprise. Rent alone now exceeds the entire average local salary. According to Numbio's 2026 data, a one-bedroom apartment in Lisbon runs around $1,600 a month. The average Portuguese worker earns approximately $1,500. That gap is not a typo. That is the new reality of a city that has been completely repriced by foreign investment, digital nomads, and tourism. And it is the first thing every aspiring expat needs to understand before they book that flight. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how much money you actually need to live in Lisbon in 2026, including a realistic breakdown of rent, food, and transport. The neighborhoods where you can still find 20 to 30% savings on housing, and the hidden cost trap that is sending expats back home broke that almost nobody talks about before you board that flight. This video is for anyone seriously considering a move to Lisbon, whether you are a remote worker, a retiree on a fixed income, or a couple trying to figure out if the lifestyle upgrade is actually worth it financially. Stay with me until the end, because the last point I cover is the one that almost every expat YouTube channel conveniently skips, and it is the main reason people end up back on a plane home. Let's start with the number that reframes everything. Rent in Lisbon has crossed a threshold that should stop every aspiring expat in their tracks. According to Numbio's 2026 data, the average one-bedroom apartment in or near Lisbon now runs around $1,600 a month. Here is the number that puts that into brutal context. The average Portuguese worker earns approximately $1,500 a month. Rent alone exceeds the entire local salary. Read that again. If you are a local, you cannot afford to live alone in the city where you work. That is not a quirk. That is a structural crisis, and it affects you directly as an expat because you are competing for the same housing stock. What drove this? Three things hit at once. Foreign investment poured into Lisbon real estate through the Golden Visa program. Digital nomads arrived by the thousands, able to pay Western prices for Southern European apartments. And tourism turned the city into one of Europe's most visited destinations, which inflated the price of everything from a short-term rental to a coffee on the waterfront. The result is a city where the old price anchors are completely gone. Now, $1,600 a month is the average. Averages can lie. A different aggregator, World Cost of Living, puts the average rent figure closer to $1,150, which shows you how much price dispersion exists across neighborhoods. The lesson here is not to panic at the highest number, but to understand that where you choose to live in Lisbon makes an enormous financial difference. I will come back to that in a moment.